Hey guys, welcome to this next episode in the Android development tutorial series. So I'm sorry I haven't been able to upload videos lately. I've been having exams at college and then so I've been busy with that. But I'm here now. My exams are over and you can expect frequent videos from here onwards. So in the last few videos we saw about intents and we saw about the activity lifecycle. So in this video, we're gonna see one of the common patterns used in Android that is called list, right? So you take any app that you have, right? So let it be a WhatsApp, let it be Facebook, all right? So there you see lists of items scrolling, right? So how is that made? You might think that we can have a linear layout and we can stack items one below another, but that can be done, but that should not be done because like when you create all the linear layouts at the same point, suppose you create 1,000 linear layouts, then the UI, the Android has to create 1,000 linear at the beginning when the activity is loaded, and that is highly resource hungry and that's highly inefficient. So what Android has come up with this concept called recycler views. Sorry about that. Right. So Android has come up with this concept called recycler view. Right. So what is a recycler view? So in recycler view, we set this pattern. Right. So we have items. Okay, and we set a item pattern. That is, every item should follow this pattern. Right. So if you take the example of WhatsApp, if you open your phone and if you open the WhatsApp main page, you see that there are your individual chat messages, right? See that each of the chat messages follow the same pattern, right? So we say that we want this pattern and then we give them the data and then it automatically loads it. The main advantage here is that it only notes as we require it, right? Suppose in the main screen we have 10 items, it only loads 10 items, and as we keep scrolling it loads more and more items on the go, right? So this is the most important feature of recycle view and it's really memory efficient. So if you create 1,000 text views inside linear out, it is highly inefficient because it has to create 1,000 and it has to keep that in memory all the time. But no, this let's instead of talking a lot of theory, let's go and code so that you can understand what exactly is a linear sorry, what exactly is a recycle view, right? So I have a base activity created here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, with one main activity, so I'm gonna go to the Java packages. Wait, I'm gonna zoom in here, right? So inside the Java packages, I'm gonna create a Java class called animal. Okay, so in this recycler layout, we're gonna have list of animal names and their age. Okay, so this is Java object or Pojo, as you may know. Okay, we need this because we need to represent each item with some object, right? So if you have only one text in each item, you can represent it by string object, but still even string is an object, right? So you need to represent each item by an object. So we're creating an Pojo here. So let me zoom in. All right, so I'm gonna have private string name, okay, and private int age. Okay, I really encourage you guys to code along with me, right? So I'm gonna press Command N in my Mac here. I think it's Control N in Windows, right? So I'm gonna create the constructor with both. Okay, like this is a cool feature of Android Studio. It helps you create boilerplate code really easily. And again, I'm gonna press Command N here. Okay, if you come down, you have this getter and setter. Okay, so I'm gonna select both, and it makes the getter and setter. Okay, so I have my Pojo class ready. I'm gonna create one more class which is called utils. Okay, so since usually what we do is with recycler view, we query data from online and we display it in recycler view. Okay, but since we don't know how to query it yet, I've made some sample data for you to get from the utils class. So there'll be a GitHub gist link pasted in the description box below. If you go to that, okay, you'll see something like this. What I recommend you is to copy everything inside the class utils. Okay, copy everything you have inside the class utils and paste it here. Okay, that'll work. Okay, so if it shows red like this, it's because this list hasn't been imported. Okay, so one small change is I'm gonna change this list to array list. Okay, wait. All right, so let me zoom in. So it was list here in this part earlier, but I'm gonna change it into array list. Okay, and since this is not imported, we're getting all these red errors. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna press Alt and enter. Okay, so you will get this option called import class, and you click enter. Right, so everything is imported now. Right, so one thing I forgot to do was that instead of having double quotes for the strings, I had single quotes. All right, no worry. So we will press command R, okay, in the Android Studio, and we find the single quotes, okay, and in the replace we replace it by double quotes. Right, so you replace all. Cool, it's done. All right, there are more errors. All right, let us look at it. Okay, here it's anima, so we're changing that to animal. So sorry about that, guys. So yeah, now everything is fine. So two changes you have to make is you have to make this list into an array list. You have to change this anima into animal, and just replace every instance of single quote by double quote. All right, so we have the utils class ready. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the activity main. All right, yeah, one small thing we have to do before that. Since RecyclerView was introduced, after Lollipop. So for devices before Lollipop, we don't have support for RecyclerView, right? So what Android has done is Android has a support library with us. Okay, so it provides a backward compatibility for other devices. So for that, we have to include an external library. So what do we do? So what we do is here you see the app folder, right? So you right click on it. Okay, here you have open module settings. I want you guys to click that. Okay, so if you click that, you have these 5 tabs here. Click on dependencies. Okay, so these are the dependencies that your app currently has. So there is an app compare this. I have added RecyclerView already, but you guys won't have this RecyclerView. So we need to add this. So how do you add this? You click on plus. Okay, so there are 3 types of library dependencies, but don't worry about that. We will get really in depth about these things in a later video. So just click on library dependency. Okay, let it come up. Yeah. All right. So in this, if you search for RecyclerView, nothing to show really. Yeah. See, you get this RecyclerView thing, and you click OK. Right, and then the RecyclerView dependency will be added for you, and you click OK. Right, so once you click OK, a Gradle sync will happen. Okay, so if you go to the Gradle scripts and build.gradle, the app build.gradle, you can see this. Okay, mine is added twice, so I'm gonna remove this. Right, so you will be able to see this RecyclerView, library. So let the Gradle run. Mine will fail for sure because I just removed one dependency. Alright, so but yours should succeed perfectly. If there's any problem, Google around, and if you can't find it out, just ask me in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to help out. Right? So let this run. What we'll do is we'll go to activity. Oh no, yeah, wait, I think it's getting over. So in the activity main layout, you'll probably have constraint layout here. So I want you to change that linear layout and the orientation to be vertical. So you must be really familiar with it by now. So that's why I'm not showing you. So I want you guys to do it. All right, do it. Why is it taking so long? All right. So we have the utils class ready. We have this private constructor because we don't want anyone to instantiate this class, because this is a utils class. So every method we're gonna have static methods, right? So we don't want anyone to have an instance of this class. So that's why we have a private constructor, so that no one can create an instance. All right. So now the Gradle script is running over. So we'll come inside this linear layout, and I'm gonna add a RecyclerView tag. So you just type RECY, and you can see this RecyclerView, the whole thing. You click on enter. Okay, so I'm gonna set the width to be match parent, the height to be match parent. Okay, and I'm gonna come before the closing brace. I'm gonna press slash, because we don't need to put anything inside of the. Okay, this is the standalone tag. So we have this. So if you go to the preview, yeah, so you see item 0, item 1, right? So it shows that you have a list here. All right, so I'm gonna go into the app folder again. Okay, so inside the layout, I'm gonna create a new layout file called item_animal. So this is the layout that will be there for each item in the RecyclerView. So if you don't understand what that is, you will understand when we complete the app, right? So I'm gonna remove this constraint layout, put linear layout again. I'm gonna switch the orientation to be vertical. Okay, I'm gonna remove the height as match parent to be wrap content. Okay, so if you keep the height to be match parent, what will happen is each element in the recycler view, will fill the height of the height of the screen. So you'll have only one item per screen. That is really bad. Like, I think it's really awkward. So it's wrap content, right? So we'll have a text view here, width to be wrap content, height to be wrap content. Okay, we'll have the text size to be 24 sp. Okay, we'll use this attribute tools : text. Okay, so when you do this, you'll get a red mark. You just go to tools, press on alt enter. Okay, so the import is done. So what tools, let's enter text here. So let me enter max, right? So what tools : text does it, since we won't have any hard-coded text in this, right? So we'll get the text from this utils class to be filled there. So we won't know how the layout looks. So just this tool, okay, when we enter some text, it appears only here in the visual editor. But when the app is running, this won't be reflected in the app. So that's what the tools tools namespace does. All right. So I think we need some margin here. So I'm gonna add a margin of 8 dp. Yeah, I think that's perfect. Okay. So I'm lazy, so I'm gonna copy this. Okay, I'm gonna paste it down. Okay. Instead of 24 sp, I'm gonna have 16 sp. Okay, because it's just age, right? So this is gonna be like something like 8 or 7. Okay, so yeah, I think that works. So I'm just gonna change this to 18. All right, so one more thing we need to do is give an ID for each of these. So for the first text view, I'm gonna give an ID of tv_animal_name. Okay, oh, I'm gonna zoom in, sorry guys. All right, and for the second text view, I'm gonna give an ID of tv_animal_age. All right, so our item is done. So each item in the recycler view will look something like this, right? So there'll be one item, and then the next item beneath this with different name and different ages. There'll be a different item with different name and different ages. So I assume you get the point. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the main activity here. Okay, so what is the first thing we always do? We get the instance of the view that we're using the find view by ID, right? So I'm gonna say RecyclerView RV_animals, because this is animals, right? Equal to find view by ID r.id. Oh yeah, we didn't give an ID to the RecyclerView. So I'm gonna go to the activity main. Okay, I'm gonna inside the RecyclerView, I'm gonna give an ID RV_animals, right? So we're coming back to the main activity. So RV_animals, right? So in this thing, we need something called an adapter. So what's an adapter? So we need to populate each of the items with the text, right? With the related text, right? So the adapter does that work basically. So you give the adapter what layout you want each item to be and the data set, right? So the data set here being this animals lists, right? And then what the adapter does it, it creates as much views as required for the screen. Okay, and as you keep scrolling, the adapter knows, okay, he's scrolling, so we need to generate more items, and it's going to generate more items, right? And the upper items is put into something called a bin. Okay, so even those items are recycled, right? And those items, those views are reused here. And when you scroll back again, it knows, okay, he's scrolling back, so we need the old item. So it takes the items from the bin and puts it in the view, right? So this is how RecyclerView works. So in this, we're gonna just have a very basic layout. So in the upcoming videos, we'll do really complex layouts. I'll explain how really RecyclerView works. So in this video, I just want to give you an essence of the RecyclerView. All right. So we need to create an adapter. So okay. So I'm going to the Java packages. I'm creating a new class, naming animals adapter. Okay. So this part is kind of confusing for every beginner out there, but I suggest you pay real attention here, because this is the core part of RecyclerView. Declaring RecyclerView, declaring the layout is in the core part. This is the core part of the adapter, is the core part of RecyclerView, right? So this adapter should extend from RecyclerView dot adapter. Okay, and this adapter is generic class. So I hope you guys know what generate class is. So this adapter generate class. So this takes in something called a view holder. Okay, so that view holder should be inside this animals adapter. So right now, for now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say animals adapter dot view holder. So this view holder is in the class inside the animals adapter class, but we don't have it. So we'll click Alt Enter. The class is created. Okay, still we have this the red squiggly line. I'm again gonna click Alt Enter. So there'll be a method called implement methods. So in this we have these three methods, right? So for every adapter, these three methods are like required to implement. Like we have to implement this method, otherwise the adapter won't work. We still have one squiggly line here. Android is still angry with us. So let's ask it why it's angry with us. Okay, so Alt Enter and we click. So this is something required. Since this something is using in view as a RecyclerView holder, we have to extend it from RecyclerView holder, and this thing needs a constructor. Okay, so again, the same process. Okay, so I know this is a lot to take in, so I'm going to explain it again. So we have an adapter. Okay, so every adapter extends from RecyclerView.adapter. Okay, this RecyclerView.adapter is a generic class, so it can take in one generic view holder class, right? So it needs a view holder. The view holder basically holds the view. So this is a pattern. View holder is a pattern. Okay, that we'll talk about in next class, I hope. Right. So so this view holder is an inner class inside the animal adapter class. So we said animal adapter or view holder. All right. So these methods are required to be overridden, because we have to write code in all these three methods for the adapter to work. Okay. And first I'm gonna go into the view holder. Okay, I'm gonna declare a text view. Okay, TV animal name. If you remember, these are the IDs we gave in the item XML, right? So TV animal age, right? So what I have to do is here I'm doing. I hope this is zoomed in enough. Yeah. So TV animal name equal to item view, because since we're not inserting an activity, we're taking the view and then we're finding the ID from the view, right? So item view dot find view by ID. Okay. R.id dot TV animal name. TV animal age equal to item view dot find view by ID. R.id dot TV animal age. Right. So in this view holder, all we're required to do is instantiate the views we have in the items. Okay, and then just instantiate. Okay, there's nothing else to do in the view holder. Alright, so we need to have a constructor here. Okay, so I'm gonna have a constructor here, public animals adapter. Okay, so this is gonna take in a context instance of context. Okay, so context is something we will get to shortly. Okay, we'll have one whole class just on context, because it's really important to know what context is, right? And we'll take a array list of animals. Okay, so this is our data set. This is how we're passing the data set into the adapter using the constructor. Okay, so to use it, we need two member variables. So I'm creating private context and private array list of animals, right? So I'm saying here this dot context equal to context, the normal constructor stuff. Animals equal to animals, right? Okay, so we'll come to this method, get item count. Okay, first let's talk about this method. So what does this method do? We should tell this method how many items we have in the recycle view. Okay, because it needs to know how many items it has to display, how many items it has to display per screen and all that, right? So what here all we do is we take the animals list and then call the size method on, right? So we're saying in this recycle view we'll have as many as items as there are in the animals list, right? Done. So this method is clear to you guys, right? So let's come to the onCreate view holder method. Okay, so this is called once in the whole when the adapter is initialized. Okay, so this creates the view, this view. This whole thing is created by this method, and it is populated with data by this method. Alright, so on create view holder creates this view holder here. Okay, creates this view holder for each item. Okay, for each item we need to create this view holder. Okay, and then here we are binding the data to the view holder. Alright, binding the data in the sense we're taking the data from the animals and setting it like text view dot set text thing, right? So here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create view v. We need a view parameter. Okay, so there is this class called layout inflator, which basically inflates the view. Inflates the view is just a fancy term, fancy way of saying that display the view in the screen, something like that, right? So inflation is just a fancy term of that. So we say from, we get the context. Alright, so as of now you don't have to understand this line. Okay, so you can just know what to do, but then as you keep going on you'll know like why we're doing this, what is layout inflator, what is the context and all that, right? So from context, okay, dot inflate. So we're saying we get us the layout inflator and inflate this view. So which one? R dot layout dot item animal, right? And this takes two more parameters, which is the parent parameter and false, right? So right now, okay, since this is a basic RecyclerView course, so I don't think you need to know this. I will definitely teach you guys this in the next videos where we look at RecyclerView in depth, right? So all we're doing is return new view holder v. So we have to return this view holder instance. Okay, take passing in the view. So I'm returning the view holder instance, passing in this the view we created, right? That's all we need to do in the view holder. So if you don't understand this, right? So put some comments. I'll try to explain it as much as I can. I'll give you some medium links to read on. If you still don't, wait for a little while. I will be creating more videos on like in-depth videos on RecyclerView. We'll be using this a lot, alright? So I hope it gets cleared by then. Alright. So in the bind view holder, okay, what we do is we first get the animal. See, so here we have this position method, right? So this position tells us which position, which view is displaying right now, right? So what we do is we get the animal instance from the animals list by the get and passing the position. So suppose the user has scrolled to the 20th position. So we need to display the 21st position, right? So this method will be called again with position as 21. So we're getting the animal object at the 21st position from this list. Okay. And since we have our, the text views in the holder, so we have to see, we have this holder here. So we can just access these text views using this holder object. So what I can do is I can do holder dot tv name dot set text equal to animal dot get name, right? So I'm getting the name from the animal and setting it to the text view which is inside the holder. Okay, so I'm doing the same for age. Holder tv animal age dot set text equal to animal dot get age, right? One thing is that set text takes in a string, right? But the age we had was int. Like it's no problem, but the best thing to do is here, okay, to convert this int into a string. So what I'm doing, I'm cutting that. I'm gonna say string dot value of, and then I'm gonna pass it in. Okay, so this is best Java ways, right? So our RecyclerView is done, like nearly done. So we have the adapter ready. So let me go through what the adapter does once again. Alright, so when the adapter is created, we pass in a context and the list whatever we want to display. Okay, and we create the view holder. Okay, so this is the view holder. Okay, inside the view holder we have all the instances of the text views or the image views, whatever we have to be displayed for each item. Okay, remember this is not for the entire RecyclerView. This is for the each item, right? So we have the TV animal name for each item and TV animal age for each item, right? So when this on create view holder method is called, what it does is it creates the view holder, right? So this thing for each item and it inflates the view onto the screen, right? So and when this on bind view holder is called, okay, it gives us a position. Suppose in our WhatsApp we've scrolled to the 48th message, right? So the next message to be loaded is 49. So in this position we'll have the position to be 49, right? So we have to get the data accordingly and then display it. So what we're doing, we're getting the animal instance from the list according to whatever position we have, right? So yeah, it's here. So position, right? And since we have the instances of the text view inside the holder, we're doing holder dot text view, like I did everything. So our adapter is ready. Okay, we only have few more to do. Okay, let's go back to the main activity. Okay, so in RecyclerView, the first thing you have to do is tell it if it should be horizontal or vertical, right? So you can have a horizontal list, you can have vertical lists also. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is tell what kind of list it is. So I'm gonna have a linear horizontal list, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say linear layout manager. Okay, layout manager equal to new linear layout manager. So in here I'm gonna pass linear layout manager dot vertical. Okay, and I'm gonna pass a false here. This is for the RTL layouts that you do. Okay, why is it showing wrong? Because wait, so I'm gonna remove this again so that we can see what exactly the constructor requires, right? Okay, so we need a context first. So the context is this, right? The context is the main activity. So don't worry about context as of now, as I told you. So we'll study about context very soon. So just pass this for now. All right, and the layout, the orientation will be vertical, and the last parameter will be false always. All right. So we have this layout manager basically says that I want this kind of layout, okay, for the recycler view. So we basically say that I want a vertical layout for the recycler view, right? So like how we in the activity in the linear layout we said the orientation will be vertical, right? That's exactly what we're doing in the main activity, right? And the second thing to do is instantiate the adapter. So we're saying animals adapter equal to new animals adapter. So first thing was context, so I'm gonna pass this, right? Second is the animals data, so I'm gonna do utils the thing, right, dot get animals. So that will give you all the animals data, so you don't have to type that out. Okay, make sure you've copied all this from the GitHub. This link I'm posting down below, otherwise it won't work. Okay, you'll get a error. Next, what I'm doing is I'm taking the RV animals. I'm saying use this set layout manager. Basically, I'm saying okay, use this layout manager. So when you do that, the recycler knows that okay, so we need something vertical, right? So we're saying set layout manager as layout manager. Okay. One more thing, and final thing is set adapter. So we need to set the adapter. We need to connect the adapter to the recycler view, right? So we do set adapter as adapter. All right. So our recycler view instance is ready to work. Okay. So let me run this. Okay, I haven't started my dev and thing, so I'm just gonna boot it up. All right. So until it boots up, let me go through the whole thing once again. So first, what we did was we imported the Gradle dependency by right clicking on app, going to module settings, and then dependencies. Okay, and then clicking on the plus and searching for recycle view. All right. Second thing, we had an instance of recycler view in the main activity underscore main. Okay, we set the width and height to be match parent each. Okay, then we created an item for each of the layouts, right? So I have the width to be match parent and the height to be wrap content. I'm having two text views here. Okay, these text sizes marginal, you can have it whatever you want, right? So it's layout, so you have to design it according to what your company wants or what your freelancing client wants, something like that, right? So hold on, I'm just gonna open Visor here, right? So the next thing is we create this animal pojo file. Okay, so I'm just gonna click on view. So my phone is booting up right now, right? So I have this animal pojo here. So we created this, right? And from the link I've posted, so you're gonna copy this, right? Make sure the spelling here and the spelling of the pojo you have same. Otherwise, it won't work properly. All right. Then what we did is we created the adapter. Okay. So the adapter basically says that for each item I want some so and so to be done, right? Alright, so we take in context in the list. In the on create view holder creates the view holder. That is the view holder we created here. Okay, on the on create view holder creates the view holder, and then the on bind view holder takes the data from the animals list and then sets it accordingly, right? Like these two lines. Right. So get item count just tells us that how many RecyclerView items do you want to display in the RecyclerView, right? So what do? You take the animals list and then you get the size. So if you have 10 animals, it's gonna show you 10. If you have 20 animals, it's gonna show you 20. If you have 30, 30, right? So we go to the main activity. We create the linear layout manager. This basically says that I want my every item in the recycler view to be aligned vertically, right? Let me zoom in. According to this, right? Then I'm getting the animals adapter and I'm getting the animals from the utils class that we created. Okay, and then I'm just setting the layout manager in adapter, right? So if you go to Visor here, so this is my phone. So you see that our app has worked. Okay, so it's kind of hard to differentiate because of this big space. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to for you guys to understand very clearly, right? So I'm gonna remove this margin of 8 dp. Okay, I'm gonna have a margin start of 8 dp. Okay, and a margin bottom of 12 dp. Right, so I think this will be enough for you guys to really differentiate between each item. Okay, so I'm gonna click on the fast load thing. So it's loading, and it's installing the APK in my phone. Just wait for a second. So if you scroll this, yeah, wait. See, so this is the first item, this is the second item, this is the third item, and you can scroll on it, right? So now see, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items, right? So as of now, RecyclerView has created 6 items. Okay. So when I start scrolling, okay, it knows, okay, so he's scrolling. So we need the 7th item. So see, the first item is almost invisible. So if we scroll until here, what it does okay, the first item is not visible anymore, but we need one more item. So it takes the view resources from the first item and then gives it to the 6th item. Okay, and it keeps on doing that. So you have this list, right? So this is RecyclerView, guys. I hope you guys understood it. Okay, now, even if you didn't understand every bit, I hope you at least understood how to create the basic RecyclerViews. We will be using RecyclerViews a lot, right? So as it goes on, I hope it gets clear. And if you have any doubts, ask the doubts in the comment section below, and I'll be really happy to answer. Right? So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.